I mean, maybe it's more of a risk to wait too long and sit on the shelf. How many more fights does a guy at the age of 36, you fight 2 or 3 times a year? This is where you make your money. If you're Triple G, he's fought his whole career to get to this point. And Martirosyan was the biggest name that represented the least risk that they could find. And so you got a result like this. But, you know, I think about Canelo, and I think about the rematch, that you've got to figure there's so much money it's going to happen. And I think about the way Triple G and his camp we're talking about Mexican style. Chavez-Rosario was a fight they brought up, the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., of course. And that's the way they wanted to fight. But against Daniel Jacobs, Gennady, who's a very good, technically aggressive fighter, played it a little safer than we normally see him play and fight. And that's because Daniel Jacobs is a dangerous fighter, world-class fighter, and a good boxer in his prime. And it was the same thing with Canelo. When he had Canelo on the ropes, he didn't go for broke. He didn't get in there the way Chavez did against Rosario and stay in there. He kept them at arm's distance, because you got to be careful with guys like Daniel Jacobs and obviously Canelo Alvarez. They can box, they can punch, they're elite for a reason. But I want to show you something tonight. You just saw the replay earlier. I want you to see it again. This is Triple G tonight against Vanes Martirosyan. He has Martirosyan against the ropes, and this is how he attacks a fighter where he feels he doesn't need to worry as much about what's coming back. He goes in to end the fight. I'm not suggesting that Triple G needs to open up with wild shots against top-notch technical fighters, but there's a certain kind of mentality that he's brought to this fight that he brought to fights previous to the Daniel Jacobs fight that has been absent since. Is it because he is now fighting in Jacobs and Canelo, top-notch fighters, and Martirosyan is more similar to the fighters he just plowed through? Can he regain that kind of mentality against fighters like Jacobs and Canelo if they have a rematch Mexican Independence Day weekend? Can that Triple G show up Mexican style?
You're saying there's a certain recklessness that needs to be a part of the real Triple G.
Correct.